Israel is again moving towards a prisoner release deal, but few have personal experience dealing with the criminal and terrorist populations in Israeli jails. One of the few exceptions is former Commissioner of Prisons, Lieutenant General in the Reserves, Orit Adato.
Israel is strongly considering releasing Arab terrorists in a prisoner exchange. Lieutenant General in Reserves Orit Adato was the commissioner of the prison system. She dealt with not only the criminal prison population, but also the huge number of Arab terrorists who are housed in Israeli jails.
They are terror inmates and not prisoners of war. So you have to change. You have to be always 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of them.
In prison, low-level terrorists meet more senior and experienced terrorists and greatly expand their knowledge on waging jihad. But General Adato also has developed methods of dealing with this problem.
Terror university, it's inevitable in the situation that we are keeping and managing and handling. And you cannot build and you cannot do everything to be able to separate them in a way that there will be no interaction between organizations, or there will be no encouraging ideological or professional or whatever. I would suggest to divide the whole group to a major 3 groups, subgroups. One is the extremists, those that are ideologists, terrorists. At the other side, there are a few thousand that has not been really terrorists. Some of them has just been paid a small amount of money to take a paper from point A to point B, even though they didn't know what has been before and what will happen later on. That group is an easier group to change a little bit, to change the attitude towards them as offenders, as criminal offenders. So at the middle, between these 2 groups, there is a group of few thousand that are terrorists. But they will look to the both sides and decide what is really good for me and my family. They are all at the same prisons, and the light terrorist sits with the heavy terrorist at the same place, and within a while he becomes a heavy terrorist. When I was a commissioner, when there were about 50 negative leaders around the prisons, and you cannot segregate each one of them, there is no enough cells for that. So at the end of the day, I decided to put them all, we took them all and put them in a small wing of 50 places, 25 cells, 2 in each one of them. It canceled their leadership at once because they didn't have soldiers to lead. They were quarreling among themselves, who is much more important.
Arab terrorists will behave themselves in the hopes of ensuring their release.
They know that there is a hope. At the end of the tunnel, there is a light, and they might be a release in a program or in an exchange program that will be with the Israeli government. They know that they have a lot to lose if they won't behave themselves.
As someone who has had first-hand experience with these prisoners, what does General Adato think about the planned prisoner release?
As to my personal opinion, I don't think that every exchange is acceptable. There is never a good situation to exchange terrorists, even though they sign the papers. The real test is what they will do at the day after.